She thought it was just another Tinder date, but within hours, she would disappear. Days later, police made a disturbing discovery inside a Seattle apartment. What they found would reveal one of the most disturbing dating app murders in recent history. Her name was Ingrid Lyne. She was a 40-year-old mother of 3 living in Seattle, Washington. Friends described her as hardworking, kind, and deeply devoted to her children. Ingrid worked for a technology company and spent most of her time balancing work and raising her family. To the people who knew her, she was someone who always put others before herself. Like many single parents trying to rebuild their lives, Ingrid eventually decided to try online dating. That decision would lead her to a man she met on Tinder, a man who would soon become the last person to see her alive. In early 2016, Ingrid decided to give online dating a chance. Like millions of people around the world, she downloaded Tinder, hoping to meet someone new. At first, it seemed harmless. Just a few casual matches, short conversations, and the possibility of meeting someone who shared her interests. Then, one day, she matched with a man named John Robert Charlton. Charlton appeared friendly and confident. He worked as a truck driver and lived in the Seattle area. From the outside, there didn't seem to be anything unusual about him. The two began chatting through the app, exchanging messages, and getting to know each other. Soon, they decided to meet in person for the first time. It would be a simple date, dinner and drinks in Seattle, nothing complicated, nothing out of the ordinary. To Ingrid, it was just another attempt at starting a new chapter in her life. But what she didn't know was that this date would become the last normal night she would ever have, because the man she met on Tinder was hiding a dark and violent past, something that would soon turn this ordinary date into a horrifying tragedy. On April 8, 2016, Ingrid Lyne finally met John Robert Charlton in person. The two agreed to meet in Seattle for dinner and drinks. To Ingrid, it was simply a casual first date, something many people do every day. According to investigators, the evening appeared completely normal at first. They talked, spent time together, and eventually continued the night at Charlton's apartment. For Ingrid, it may have seemed like a typical first date. There were no immediate signs that anything was wrong, but sometime during that night, something changed. The details of what exactly happened inside that apartment remain deeply disturbing. Investigators later believed that an argument or confrontation may have taken place, and sometime during that night, Ingrid Lyne was killed. What happened next would shock even experienced detectives, because instead of calling the police, Charlton allegedly began trying to hide the crime. What he did inside that apartment was so gruesome that it would later become one of the most disturbing parts of the entire case. But at that moment, nobody outside that apartment knew what had happened. To Ingrid's friends and family, she had simply disappeared after a date. The next day, something immediately felt wrong. Ingrid Lyne failed to show up for work, something that almost never happened. Her friends and coworkers began to worry. Ingrid was known for being responsible and reliable, especially when it came to her job and her children. As the hours passed, no one could reach her. Her phone went silent, and there was no sign of where she might have gone. Soon, her family reported her missing. Investigators quickly began looking into Ingrid's last known movements. It didn't take long before they discovered that the last person she had been with was a man she had just met on Tinder, John Robert Charlton. Detectives attempted to piece together what had happened that night. Meanwhile, something disturbing was happening elsewhere in Seattle. At a local recycling facility, workers made a horrifying discovery inside a trash container. What they found would soon lead investigators directly to Charlton and reveal the terrifying truth about what had happened after that Tinder date. The investigation was about to take a very dark turn. As the search for Ingrid Lyne continued, investigators were about to uncover something deeply disturbing. At a recycling facility in Seattle, workers sorting through waste suddenly came across something shocking inside one of the containers. What they found appeared to be human remains. Police were immediately called to the scene, and the discovery quickly turned a missing person case into a full homicide investigation. As detectives worked to identify the remains, another crucial piece of evidence began pointing them toward one man, John Robert Charlton, the same man Ingrid had gone on a date with just days earlier. When investigators searched Charlton's apartment, they found evidence suggesting that a violent crime had taken place inside. The scene confirmed their worst fears. Authorities soon arrested Charlton and charged him with the murder of Ingrid Lyne. According to investigators, after killing her, Charlton attempted to dispose of the body in a horrifying effort to hide the crime. The case shocked the Seattle community and quickly gained national attention. What began as a simple Tinder date had ended in one of the most disturbing dating app-related crimes in recent memory. The murder of Ingrid Lyne left the Seattle community in shock. What started as a simple Tinder date had turned into a horrifying tragedy that no one could have predicted. Friends and family remembered Ingrid as a loving mother who worked hard to give her children a better life. Her death left behind 3 children who would now grow up without their mother. In the end, John Robert Charlton was convicted for the brutal killing of Ingrid Lyne and sentenced to decades in prison. The case became a chilling reminder of the potential dangers of meeting strangers online. Today, Ingrid's story continues to be remembered not only for the horrific crime itself, but for the life of a woman who should have had many more years ahead of her. A single date, one night, and a tragedy that would change everything.